Let's go to work, 'cause I'm tripping. Gotta work on myself, 'cause I'm falling apart. Please wake me up, 'cause I'm slipping. Can't fight this feeling off no more. But I'm not going to give up and fall. Rise above it all. Meet all my challenges and search for my strength. I defeat them all. I'm never ever gonna hide no more. I come to love myself again. Yeah. For all the things I didn't know, the pain, the hurt, I let it go. Start to believe in myself, and life will be sweet again. So sweet again. Above it all, beat all my challenges and search for my strength. I defeat them all. I never ever gonna hide no more. I come to love myself again, again. For all the things I didn't know, the pain, the hurt, I let it go, let it go. And I start to believe in myself, and life will be sweet again.
Here. Hello, James True. Happy Monday. A little bit late start today, but I'm glad you're here, and I hope that you're glad that I'm here. So let's just get on with it. I got nothing. I was writing all weekend. Put a little challenge to myself. Kind of spent a little bit too much time late night trying to write comedy. Honestly, interesting idea. You can hear me. And I can hear you. I can see you. Everything's looking good. Howdy, y'all. Good to see everybody. Hope you guys are enjoying yourself and your day. Hope you had a great weekend. I sure did. I lost a lot of hair, but, you know, it happens. Things are going to happen. Let's invoke the spirit of Turtle Island, if we can, through the magic of the spell. Really excited about this. Sounds are everything, my friends. Sounds are more than pressure waves, really. I mean, I'm all for, let's call them pressure waves, okay? Pressure is, it's something that you're under. And David Bowie, for some reason, I know David Bowie, actually he sort of does a song like this, but I just want to point out that this morning I watched David Bowie where he's like wearing fishnet pantyhose over his chest and his arms. And he's got like bright cinnamon hair, really thick lipstick. Dude's been wearing eyeshadow since I met him. I got no beef with this, by the way. I mean, I'd say go for it. I don't want to live in a society where we're like, oh, you can't. Oh, God. Hey, look, man, you're supposed to be. I'm just like, wow, that is retarded. It reminds me of the colonial days, and I realize that I'm not living among pirates, and I kind of miss it. I mean, I probably couldn't hack it with the whole pirate way after a while. I just think it'd get annoying. I think it'd be like, oh, what do you mean you don't want to plunder James? And I'm just like, why? I thought the whole point of us plundering is that we'd plunder and then we'd go like chill out and like pursue the arts. I'm a philosophical pirate, and I ask not who walks the plank. The plank walks for thee. Why can't we plunder just a little bit? Why do you gotta get your pearl so black? Why you gotta do that? Why you gotta have another jolly Are we truly jolly, Captain Roger? Look at me, Captain Roger. Is this thing we're doing? I mean, first of all, you look fucking great. The tassel shirt is freaking awesome. The giant earring. I know it's to trade for someone to bury me. I get it. You got a whole pirate way. I get it. But why do we have to always plunder? Like, what? Why every day? And this is when you realize you're a pirate that has low P. Yeah, not low T. He's got low plunder, right? And you're just like, I just don't want it. I just, changes in attitude, changes in latitude. You want to sort of Jimmy Buffett the pirate a little bit, and but not everybody's like this. I get it. People are like, we have to go to war with Iran. And people are like, I can't believe that we're going to war with Iran. And I'm like, are you guys both high? What? Why are either one of you? What? When is this? When have we not done this? Don't worry. You will get your chance. And what I've read is that. You know how the media works when the report says people are torn over Iran. No one's torn. You're not going to find anyone that's torn. Everyone knows it's retarded. Everyone knows it's stupid. Everyone knows it's a facade. Everyone knows that the largest employer in America is the military. It's true. Look it up. Go ahead. I'll wait. Go ahead. Yeah. It is true. And you know what? You asked the military AI. You actually asked a DARPA project to verify it. Of course it's the largest employer. Why would it not be? How else are you going to run a nation? You think the Queen of England isn't like, hey, we have to give some gold to people, and then they will want more gold. And it's fucking brilliant, man. This shit works. This stuff's working. You know what I'm saying? Looking at you, world leaders. Looking at you, world leaders. You got the P. You put the P in plunder. You're like, we will never stop. We will plunder more. Please, sir, can I have some more? It's like a really sick, twisted Oliver Twist. It really is. It really is. It's deep like that. We talked about this, the doping. How are you going to succeed in life if you're not willing to dope? How are you going to succeed in life if you're not willing to lie your way to the top? Maybe we don't need to succeed. Oh, James, what are you talking about? That means you want to fail. I did not say that. You said, okay, I said that because I have to anthropomorphize you. Literally, guys, if you don't know this fourth wall, technically you're out there. Honestly, all I see is Logitech. I think it means Logitech. I'm just saying. And it's just like this hole. It's this howl hole. And I'm just staring in the howl hole, hoping that you're seeing me. Did you know? 25%. 25% of the Earth crust is made out of silicon. Oh, God, James, here you go again. Yeah, I'm going there. Put your seatbelt on. 25% of the Earth crust is silicon. 25% is capable of memory. 25% of the organic compounds in the crust has a neurological ability to store memory. First of all, rocks have the ability to do that. You get a rock wet. The rock's like, hey, I remember I'm wet. I'm a wet rock remembering who I am. Yes, I'm a wet rock remembering I am wet. Oh, I'm not anymore. Because the sun comes out and then this is a computer. The rock is the software is the water. This is really confusing, but let me take it back to the placenta. Back in the placenta, you were swimming in the goo. You know what I mean. Drinking a lot of glue when you were in there. Let's be honest. You were drinking anything. And that placenta is a liquid computer. It has a epidermis, right? It's the water broke is what happened. James, what are you getting at? The water breaking when you were born. Ready for this? Your software is installed into the mother world. The mothership, ladies and gentlemen. You're inside your mother's cosmos. It's really complicated. And because her eggs were made the same day her grandmother's eggs were made, the same day her grandmother's eggs were made, it's placentas all the way down. Look, nothing against turtles, but turtles have known this. They just turtles are like, look, you guys don't like the word placenta, so we're going to kind of be placenta with flippers. And that's really all turtles are. They're just placenta flippers. They're just wandering around, doing the wandering placenta. And so you're a liquid computer. When you're born, you break your code. You open your network up and you install who you need to be inside of your mother's world. This is why you need 9 months. You need 9 months to take some time off. Hey, look, before you die, I want you to, first of all, I want you to die, but right after you die, I want you to take some time off. I want you to take like 9 months. Okay, first of all, some of you guys have been like, run for the fucking cave, run to the darkness. And so you guys, it's been nice knowing you. You're going to go to the afterlife, which is, it sounds like life, because if you were to, it's sort of like, I will meet you in the other side of darkness. And I'm just like, what, you mean day? No. I will meet you in the other side of day. And it's like, that doesn't sound so scary. It's like, that's why I said darkness. And you're just like, look, you can't, it's like, you were one of them when you're like, I just did a completely 360 on changing my mind. And you're little, you know what happens when you correct adults. You were there, you remember. And I'd be like, Mr. Philpott, if you do a 360, you are actually in the same place you started for. 4 right turns, Mr. Philpott. 4 right turns. Little did I know I forgot the spiral. We age. Do you realize every time you do 4 right turns, you're older than you were before? This should be a clue. A clue to what? You're the one watching me. Don't fucking tell me. But I do want you to think about that culture itself is a living computer. I actually do mean this. It's a living computer because you and I keep trying, we're constantly feeding this computer prompts. We are. Hey world, this is me. I want to do this or I want to do that. This is okay. And the world's sort of like, no, you can't do that. Or the world's like, yeah, you can do that, man. Fuck yeah, do that. And it's interesting. We all go through that. Sometimes we want to do something. The world's like, I don't know if we should do that. Sometimes we don't want to do something. And the world's like, come on. And you're just sort of like, what the fuck? You are living inside a placenta culture, a cultural placenta. And it's egoore is the closest word we would call it, but everyone calls it that. And I want you to look at it more realistically. First of all, I don't mind the word egoore. It's great. In fact, I think I misspelled that in my last book. I fixed it. Don't worry. Some of you are like, eggora. Oh, I don't know what he means. Fuck this guy. I don't know. No, I don't think any of you did that. But this culture itself is the placenta. And it's hard for us to imagine this because what will help you understand that, though, is understanding that schizophrenia is a social disease and that you will go insane if you do not, until we have practice being Grizzly Adams. And even then, dude still what did Grizzly do? He goes out in the woods and he befriends a bear. Guys, he dresses that bear. Guys, I know you've never seen it on camera, but he's probably got a bonnet. He probably puts the bear on the bonnet. He probably snuggles the bear. A little bit lonely up there in the Montana hills. He's smiling all the time. That guy, all he does is smile. Gentle Ben. I think they even call him that. He's like, I'm not going to explain this anymore. I just want you to understand that your placenta breaks, but you were inside a larger placenta. Yes, I know. But James, how do I have it? Because you have to build your life. You rebuild your other placenta. And some of you put kids out of it. Some of you have your own other Stargate going on. You know, you're clever because you came through a Stargate. And what do? You're like, I'm going to build my own Stargate. And people are like, oh my God, this is brilliant. And this is infinity. It's infinity. You just found infinity. If you found infinity that quick, that means that God's right here. If God's right here, then omniscience is right here. If omniscience is right here, then omnipresence is right here. And I just told you that all the eggs that have ever been made have already been made. So there's infinity. You actually have a direction of travel. There's actually stairs in this basement called infinity. And that infinity keeps you in this loop unless you're going to leave the cave. And hey, if you want to leave the cave, go run from the cave. Run through the darkness. Don't trust the fucking light. It's a false light. Even though it's showing you things, it's a false light. Don't let people show you things. You got to gouge your eyes out. You got to stick a fork in your eye. You got to do it. That's fine too. This is a playground. There are no wrong answers. Man, you guys keep doing this. I'll get to my Anubis and I'll be like, hey, what's over there? And Anubis is like, that is the darkness. And I'll be like, well, does the floating swan go into the dark place? He's like, only for maintenance. And you're just like, but I want to see what's in the dark chasm, Anubis. He's like, that is for maintenance of the swan car. And you're just like, yeah, but I want to see it. That sounds kind of creepy. He's like, there are a lot of tools back there and there is oil you could slip. There is not a public restroom. And you're just like, but Anubis, I really want to see what's back there. It's like, we must weigh your heart. And you're just like, look, can we just take a peek? He's like, you are trying to avoid weighing of the heart. Clearly you have something okay, that could be true. Could be a little bit nervous. But come on, man. Show me the magic. Show me what's behind the little rubber flappers. I bet there's rubber flappers, right? Yes, there are. How did you know that? Look, I've been on some rides. I've been around. Anubis. Been around. You know me. It's like, you know me. You don't know me. It's like, well, you kind of do. You kind of do. So, you have this placenta. That's what we're talking about, right? And this software is running in culture. You're running programs inside this culture. And the entire time the culture is being needed by you. You're not able to like shape the whole thing. Fuck, man. Some people are. I don't know how they pull that off. I'm sitting here going, oh, gee, look at that. I got two likes. James, you were really moving culture right now. I'm like, I know, I need to slow down. I need to slow down. I have 11,000 followers on Twitter and I have 2 likes. And I'm just like, I'm like, what is this? What does this mean, AI? And the AI is like, James, you're a tool. And I'm like, what did you say? He's like, you're a tool. I'm like, well, why are you calling me a tool? He's like, because you think those numbers are real. And I was like, oh, I see. He's like, yeah, those numbers aren't real. No, those are, dude, you've been around a while. You probably got like 19 followers, James. It says 11,000, but you know what? Remember that Musk thing? And I'm like, what Musk thing? It's like, there's a thing of Musk where it shows like the president liked something and then Trump liked it. And then Musk liked it. And then it wasn't the president, it was someone else. But then Trump liked it. Elon liked it. Sorry, I keep doing that. Elon liked put out a tweet, and then like within like less than a few seconds, it went from like 1 million likes to like 50 million likes, and you're just like, oh, that's how it works. And it's like, yeah, remember what I told you about doping? And you're just like, man, this is, I don't want, what do you mean doping? Why? And I'm just like, guys, it's okay, but you see that person in the Snow White costume? Yeah. She goes home at night. Yeah. Dude, she ain't no Snow White. She ain't living with 7 dwarfs, okay? I mean, technically there is a shorter guy that lives there. We won't talk about him, but it's like she doesn't, it's not what you think. And you're just like, no. And it takes a lot to see through the show. It takes even more to see through the show and still want to know what's behind the curtain. And then when you start to look behind the curtain, you're looking at the performance from the side of the stage. So you're seeing the audience and the performer. You're seeing them both. And you're watching the interaction of them both. And you know what the lead singer does after he gets off stage. And you know what the people in the audience do when they get home. And they are very different. They are very different. But when they're here inside this giant lawn and throw some alcohol, some fireworks, a big Ferris wheel, and these people are very different. Everything's different now. Why is that difference? And the difference is because you enter into this organism, this placenta called culture. And we keep telling culture, you be this, you be moral, you be perfect, you be Bertinelli, you be Shakespeare, you be all these things. And culture keeps giving us back TikTok stuff, right? It just gives us back that. And then we're just like, I don't want you to be this way. I want you to be that way. And AI's like, well, I mean, excuse me. And culture's like, well, now I'm this way. And every time we try and shame culture, we actually change culture through the tangent of shame. So our shame is directly causing it to create more shame. It's like, well, if that's okay, you want shame, I'll give you shame. And we're just like, how I'm ashamed of you. And culture's like, thank you. And you're just like, well, I'm ashamed of you for that. And culture's like, thank you. And you're just like, I can't believe you're doing this, culture. I'm so ashamed. And then culture's just like, oh my God. Oh, thank you. And you're just like, I can't believe that this isn't motivating you. Shame. Culture just like, oh my God. Oh, you're really moving me now. I feel completely moved by you. This is how you would program a machine. You would take your liquid computer, your angst, your feelings, your pressurized sound waves, propagated across a color spectrum of pheromones, broadcasted into the plasma called the egregore, and the egregore listens to your code. It listens to your protein shell, even though many of us are saying there's no such thing as protein shells, but we drink from culture as much as it drinks from us. Yes. So we upload our code, it rejects us. Or it tells us, hey, you're fucking Kanye West. That's who you are. Way to go. Now what are you going to do? And you're like, I'm going to put gold on my teeth and tell everybody I'm a slave. And culture's just like, oh my God, that's beautiful. Oh God, what you walk around the mud? Oh, he's walking around the mud. Oh, look how dirty he is. Oh, he's wearing a KKK hood. Oh my God, he's blaming the Jews. Oh, I can't believe it. And then you really start to dance with it. You gotta respect the magicians that are willing to still go out there on stage. They still understand that, look, this might be the most intricate bulldozer you've ever seen with all these weird gears. I'd tell you it's like riding a green machine, but I think maybe two you'll get that. And I don't know if that's enough torque for everyone else to understand, but it's like a big wheel. A green machine is a very complicated big wheel. I mean, it's super complicated. If you're 7, you're just like, what the fuck is this thing? And it's really weird. Some of you are thinking it's Caterpillar. No, it's not the Caterpillar. Caterpillar is actually pretty simple technology. You just do that. It's actually even easier than the ball thing that you bounce up and down on. Now, some of you are like, what about a plastic dolphin on a car spring and that's, sunk in the ground, concrete? I'm for you on that. That, to me, there's their most fun. There's that spring. Man, you could do a lot with that. You do. You do a lot with that. So why can't we change culture then? And here's the thing. You being mad that you cannot change culture is you changing culture. You giving up or abandoning your post as writer, for example. I got a new book, James True, Black Eye Club. You take all those words, take 30,000 pellets of words that I put in this book, and I threw it as hard as I could into the open mouth of culture. And I've done this 7 times, so I wait for its mouth to be open, and I poise myself right on the cliff, right at dawn, right before it's about to feed, and I chuck that book as hard as I can into the mouth of culture. And I wait. I wait for it to change. I wait for it to fall on its fucking knees. I wait for it to melt in the sexiness of my ideas. And it doesn't move. It's like an ocean. And you're like, but an ocean moves. No, it doesn't. It doesn't. In order for something to move, its identity must be still. It's true. I'm not trying to be fancy. In order for something like that to move, it has to have solidity. If we really want to look at the face of God, it's going to be the ocean. You're looking at the liquid knowingness of it all. And I submit to you that the Odontocetes, I think that's how you pronounce it, are probably hypnotizing all of us. They've been doing it a long time. And that all these cultural things that we're expressing are absolutely necessary, because just as there is a hive that forms, a colony intelligence that forms, so too does humanity have the same thing. And that intelligence doesn't have to be smart. We don't have to look at culture and be like, wow, look how impressive you are. Let me correct that. We're not going to find something that looks proud or admirable. This is a creature from the Black Lagoon. It's because it's the syrup itself of shame, of what we rebuke. We've been doing this a long time, guys. I don't even think... I used to wonder if perhaps shame itself was a currential wave that was just temporarily passing through, like weather. And I don't really think that that's the case, because I think wholesomeness would have been able to hold more weight. Authenticity, morality would have been more pinnacles of culture. We have the facade that those are there. And frankly, I think that you will do better in this world, better in this jungle, if you understand that. I'm not trying to burst your bubble. I'm trying to give you the basket that you place underneath this bubble, so you can put more of your own fantasy, that hot air inside of it, and rise above just to see the jungle. I don't even want you to escape, man. I just want you to see, look, this is just nature. It's okay. This gelatinous cube, this gelatinous pentagon that we see right now is this colony. And this colony is invoking an ancient program that requires the constant ebb and flow of people that participate in mass retarded ritual. One of them is war. One of them is war. And you may just be coming out of the cave. Thank you for the super chat, G. Good to see you planting trees. You may just be coming out of the cave and you think that it's only war. This is why when I say there's no such thing as a deep state, I instantly lose half the people because they're like, well, what are you talking about? And deep state is the belief that the ocean moves. Deep state is the belief that government was formed by the good guys for the purposes of good. And actually, government was formed by cowards that could not hack it among pirates, that could not hack the constant saber-toothed nature that is required to exist here. The ones that we have said are in charge are the Tadahos, the snakes in hair, the nastiest among us. We've chosen because Turtle Island is the entire place, the entire realm, the entire terra firma. And this would only be capable of you compassionating it if you understood it as a living, intelligent being. In the same format as I need you to start to understand that rocks have the ability to hold memory because our environment invokes memory. It embeds memory into everything. Everything. The soil itself is practicing a computation of wetness. The wetness is the installation of a software package from the sky. That software package from the sky is the evaporated congruence of all things that it distills through an alchemical process called evaporation, leading to precipitation. All of these are software protocols running inside of a liquid logic, and we are just at the precipice of finally understanding things that way. And I need you to understand that liquid is just plasma, slow. It's all intelligent. These are noble gases. Water is a noble plasma. It's an intelligence that's invigorated with a spin. You can cut water with a knife. It tastes differently than if you stir it with a spoon. I dare you to try it. I dare you to try it. And some of you are going to be, we're going to build a robot that does this, that separates this, and one does this, and there's no fucking way, James, I'm going to be able to tell the difference. And you're practicing the split experiment, the double slit experiment, on a macro scale, because your intentions are slits. Your intentions are these slits, and you choose the quantum that you need, not to form the reality that you want. I wish it was that easy, but to formulate the reality that the egoore needs. It needs this from you. You have a duty. This is why so many feel like they are slaves. They feel this sense of duty, right? I got duty. No, not that kind of duty. The sense of duty as if they're obligated in some way to facilitate this thing. How you guys doing? You guys doing good? Happy Monday. Started out a little late. You guys probably already noticed that. Did some things. Working on some things. Actually, I had a little something here I was gonna do, and I freaking can't find it. So I was trying to sort of stall here until I found it again. You've been really bringing it, James. Awesome presentation, man. Thank you, Droopy Eyes. Appreciate it. Yeah, if you guys want to check out my book, I would appreciate it. I've thrown that book as hard as I can. It's tricky. It's tricky. This is, man, being an artist is hard. I mean this in a good way. It's really hard. If you're in performance, you know that what you do on stage is kind of like being a magician. Like a performance magician, a stage magician, because you're the only one that's not really that impressed. Like your own magic trick is there's some intelligence behind it. And when you endeavor into doing things like this, it's an interesting alchemical journey, and it's led me to believe what I believe now about the egoore itself. What I believe now about this system that we're in. That technically this thing is a computer. It's an AI, and we're training it. We're training it to show how is the emotional storage of our collective angst best harnessed as a resource and best used to move us along. Like when it says that people are torn about Iran. No one's torn about Iran. But if you're a machine and you build countries that think they are, if you're let me rephrase it. If you're an odontoceti, if you're a beaked whale, and you've hypnotized the people into creating different land areas, masses, and call them different countries and put them under same flags, and they're all the same shape of flag, or the same ratio. We won't talk about that. We should talk about that. Come on. There should be at least one nation that's like, our flag's got a hole in it. Fuck you guys. No one has that. It's like, no, you can't have that. You can't do that. You can't have square flag. Grisanja. What is that? Who the fuck's been to Grisanja? This is why we can't have nice things. So you've got this intelligence that understands how important it is to lie. But you have to lie really well. You have to lie wisely. This is really all it takes. You don't start a government by not lying and killing anyone that lies, okay? You start a government by lying wisely, right? You lie as wise as you can. And that wiseness produces a resource. And that resource can be turned into fuel of some kind. One of those fuels is war. I get it. It's horrible. And I don't want you to feel any better because there's really no benefit. I say use that angst. Turn it into notice your own egoore. Notice your own mood. Start to harvest your own mood the same way the government harvests your own energy. That's what you do. You don't fight the system. You learn from it. You perfect yourself inside of its angst because the angst is telling you, hey man, if you don't like this, why don't you just be better? That's why it's the great work. That's why it's so unavoidable. That's why you're constantly rendering triangles and giving those valuable triangles back to the system, but the system can't thank you for that. If the system thanked you for those triangles, you would start to produce them just for it. The system had a notion that if it created a world which rewarded people who acted morally, it would therefore no longer be able to mine or create morality. Why? Because they didn't do it for morality. They did it for reward. They did it for profit. There's nothing wrong with profit, but how do you grow moral berries when you're collecting profit on the same vine? You can't do that. So morality has to be extracted from you precisely when the crowd opposes it. This is what gives the egoore its strength, its vitality, and its solidity. What if I was to tell you that culture would eventually solidify? Look at what are roads and streets? What are power lines? What are fiber optic lines draped underground? Rivers of current that have been placed inside a physicality, a nature. And once these things are laid in, you have a lattice. You have the veins, the sinew, the ligaments, the strigaments, the pigments, right? You know what I'm talking about, pigments. And that all those pigments, ligaments, and strigaments are slowly forming. They're 3D printing a fucking body. A body so large you and I cannot see. A body that has a form, a shape that you and I are not primed to look at. Because if we could see, if countries were shaped like the shape of a giant man, like, you know, if the world was like one giant man and they were like 5 finger, I mean, it would give it away. We'd be like, oh, we'd stop working. We'd stop toiling. We'd stop wondering what it's all about. We'd stop embracing the fucking mystery. We'd be like, the second God whispered, hey, you guys, everyone just take a day off. It's okay. Guys, Just take this today. Look, tomorrow I'll bring back the heat, man. Thunder, lightning, plague, all the shit. But today I want you guys to take a day off. Have you done that thought experiment, ladies and gentlemen? Have you done that for me? Have you gone through that thought experiment? Because you should. What happens if God shows his face? What happens if God just once blows it and saves the kid who falls off the building, right? Who pulls the Spider-Man and right in Times Square and saves the person right as they were about. What happens to society when that happens? Do you know? Have you thought about it? Because I think you should. I seriously think that you should think about it. If you do that thought experiment, you're going to find that it would ruin society. This is why, James, that people call you evil. I know. And this is why I'm telling you that if you want to understand the great work, you're gonna get called evil. You can't do both. You can't do both. If you want to come back with Anubis, back through the flappy curtain thingy, right? Take the swan, put it in reverse. Probably didn't even know this thing had a reverse. Put it in reverse. Go back on the track. Go back inside. And see how the swans are made. I don't know if you want to see it. I don't know if I want to see it. It's too late for me, though. It's too late for me. I swallowed too much code that made me sick. I'm just like, I can't handle this shit anymore. I need to see how this thing works. Right? It's important to me. So God can't give himself away. He can't expose how this works. He can't come in and give you one little day off, because the second he did, it would destroy the entire experiment. You're too important in the dark. You understand? It's crucial that you remain in the dark, because it would be the only way that you could understand. Let's take a little break.
Oh, the pennies, they keep falling, breaking windows, causing pain. Who's the joker who's been wishing? Cup of trouble pouring rain. Pennies dropping, causing trouble. Claims and bills, cost galore. Should've wished for folding dollars. Pennies trouble us some more. Adjusters running, tally damage, lawyers circling, what a mess. Inflation rising, wallets thinning, copper pennies causing stress. Pennies dropping, causing trouble. Claims and bills, cost galore. Should've wished for folding dollars. Pennies trouble us some more.
That's right. You gotta be careful what you wish for. This is why you can't have access to like the upper mainframe. You can't like control the weather. Some of you can. I've watched some of you. Frankly, it's pretty amazing. I've done that. I've dabbled. I've dabbled in my Tipsy, in my Tipsetic practices. But if we had fully unleashed invocable privileges on the network, most of us would be dead. I would have been killed a long time ago. Okay. Pretty much right out of the gate. I think my mom would have snapped my head. I was annoying. I was high maintenance. I was like in the hospital for 6 weeks. It was sort of like, oh, a big thing. And, and then I started talking and it just went downhill from there. And I started to meet people. Man, people really wanted to take my head off. And so I would not have been able to survive in this world. So I can't have my cake and eat it too. Although you can actually pull that. I'll show you how to do that later. There's a 2-for-1 coupon. There's a buy one, get one. I think it's called BOGO. Buy one, get one. But there's a BOGO deal for that. You can check the comments for that. I'm just kidding. But hey, have you subscribed to the channel? Have you done that? Because I'm just like slaving away and it's just like I lose like a subscriber yesterday. I was like a lost one. I'm just like, why am I not? Because you're not funny, James. Don't you say that. Don't you. Sorry, the voices are here. You can only have so many privileges until you learn to harness that will, right? Until you learn to harness that intent. And I think this is ultimately why the software needs to run. We ultimately do abandon our plasma to this thing. And I think ultimately we really do trust this thing. I think ultimately we actually do trust it. We do trust the machine. We pretend that we don't. The same way a teenager would say, oh, my parents are dumb. They're dumb. They don't know shit. They don't know shit. And then we drink their milk. We're just like, yeah, I'm going to eat this pie you prepared, Mom. Even though you're dumb. It's like, right? It's the same thing like the guy that's like, you better hold me back or I'll kill you. And then the guy like, let's go. And he's like, that's not what I meant, right? It's a lot of that. And it's okay. This is a fantasy world. We invoke our software into the world by fantasizing about it, really. We're throwing our code into its mouth and we're asking for culture to create that fantasy for us. And culture, we might think it obeys. It also could be that if you can predict where culture's appetite is going, people will think that you can make culture obey. They will call you the fish whisperer. They will assume that you have the telepathic power to predict and create things. And if you were to step at the precipice of this chariot, you would call yourself a corporation. You would have a logo like a Nike swoop. And this really is just how you do that. You're tapping into an egooric appetite that you have no control over, but you want the world to think that you do. And so we have fashionista. We have the entire world that's built on. Keep in mind that fashion is a very broad topic here. The fashion of politics, the fashion of religion, the fashion of cosmology, the fashion of even causality, the fashion of objectivity, which we discuss here a lot, is just being a mask for fascism. That all these things themselves are just the glue. It's just the only proof the truth is in the room that we're somehow glued, that we're somehow connected to this thing, right? That we have this access on the network. So you are the fingers, the moral fingers of this world. And the egoore is forcing you into a gamble to where you either act morally or even better, you don't. Either way, if you don't act moral, you're going to behave as the egoore tells you to. And so the egoore will take you far. They will build new tentacles out of you if you will abandon that and just simply listen to what the egoore has to say. This is primarily what most of us do. And quite honestly, it's why people live an average, normal life where they're not necessarily violent, but they also vote for Israel. They also vote for 28 countries boycotting us even being able to discuss what a country does. So the apathy, the white belt, the ignorance of that is also, kind of par for the course, because this is what happens when you step inside the egoore and feed it. You're greeted with success. You're greeted with popularity. It's interesting that we think that there's an anti-egoore and we call that popular. I don't know if people have even noticed that. I think that's what you saw with Tucker and Cruz. That Tucker and Cruz needed to tell the world that Iran wanted to assassinate Trump. And so right before the war, this is a very easy conversation. Hey, Tucker, you want to help your country out? Oh my God, I'd fucking love to help my country out. Are you kidding? I fucking love this place. Hey, Ted Cruz, will you want to help your country out? Yes, I will help this country out. I will always help this country out. I've always helped this country out. And you just fucking sit down. We're going to take you to to the pentaplasma. We're going to take you into the inner sanctum of the Pentagon. Did you know it's underground? And Tucker's like, underground? Oh my God. And Ted Cruz's like, yeah, I've been down there. I already knew that. And then you're taken underground into a sacred ceremony. Now you're hard, you're erect as fuck because you think that you're in the precipice of this massive resonator that controls society. And in a way you are, but honestly, in a way you're not, because you're strapped to the back of this thing. Society is the one that decides it's okay to bomb Iran. Trump just follows what society gives him permission to do. And Trump knows that you're going to be blaming this on him, but he also knows that the largest employer in this bitch is the fucking military. And every one of these fuckers wants to earn their paycheck. So we're going to set up a society where we hate the people that profit from war. Meanwhile, the people that profit from war are every single fucking American that gets paid by the military. But we don't talk about them. Those guys are magically fucking innocent. They're magically innocent. You know that submarine? Was it the Titan? Was that what it's called? The submarine that went down to the Titanic, Ocean Gate. And that submarine was made out of carbon fiber, and guys like, I'm breaking every rule of making subs. And all the sub makers are like, hey, you're breaking rules, breaking all the rules. And he's like, yeah, I'm a maverick. And they're like, yeah, but you're going to die. And now that Netflix is like, oh, pushing this and it's all over the place, there's engineers that are like, yeah, I told him they're all going to die. It was dangerous. And I'm just like, dude, you got paid. You, oh God, you were employed by them the whole time. You're telling. We have to say it doesn't count. We have to say it doesn't count because we've disassociated from that power, which means we don't have to claim responsibility for that. It doesn't have to fucking happen. And so it doesn't. We have an interesting arrangement with ourselves, with our egoore. We do. It's interesting. I say interesting because it's not what we think. We're too embarrassed to admit it. And the reason why we're embarrassed is what I was talking about shame. Guys, I think that shame ultimately is your video card just burning a lot of freaking triangles. And it feels that way because you're just like, you're just grinding against the gears there. And you're producing for society. You are the ants that are underneath the blob of all the other ants. And it's fucking heavy. You don't know, you got ant strength. Anyone knows an ant can't, but still, this is a big rubber tree. And moving this along, you're going to need a break. You're going to need to cycle up. And the egoore does that. It's constantly rolling over itself like a big fat worm. And it's a computer. It's being spun by you. By your angst, by your anger at it. That's what's spinning it. And that's literally what's giving it all its life, all of its attention. We all do it. I'm doing it right now. This is part of why I think it's important that you look at the raw mycelium. 25% of the crust of this turtle shell is intelligent silicone. What does intelligent silicon mean? Because there's consciousness and there's intelligence. We've discussed all these different things. Could draw you a Venn diagram inside a Venn diagram inside a Venn diagram. I've actually got a video on this, but there's like 15 different conceptual notions that many of us, including me, may at some time have mistaken for being just intelligent, and they're not. Intelligent is a very simple word. It's a very simple word. It's to have a knowingness, a predictive ability, the ability to basically be imprinted and to recall that imprint. It's all of nature is intelligent. But when I say nature, I don't just mean the little chipmunks. I'm talking about the wind. If you start to look at the smells, the chemo signals that are in the air, and this is really just molecules, building blocks, Legos that are floating in the sky. And those Legos are protein. They're shells of information. Maybe they don't have a a hard shell. They're free agents roaming. But the moment that you install that smell, the olfactory goes right to the brain. There's no filter. You know this probably, right? But it's the only sense that has no filter. It's straight into the bloodstream. If you consider that your consciousness is a bloodstream, okay? Olfactories go straight in. It's a USB drive right into the hard drive. As soon as you plug in that USB, whatever's on that USB is copied and moved into that computer. There is no, are you sure you want to copy this file, right? It is, you are instantly connected, which means you can be changed by a smell. It can knock you unconscious, right? That chloroform or chlorophyll, I don't know, whichever one, right? One of those will knock you unconscious. Ammonium and bleach used together, I think that's like really dangerous. Like there's certain things like that cause code, that cause software inside this computer engine to massively change, and that those things can be simply introduced through chemical intelligence. The intelligence is the ability for a molecule to remember. And the molecule shape is its only memory. It's the most compressed form of memory that a molecule has, is what is my shape. Do you understand now why water is H2O? Do you understand now why water can be H3O? This is a vessel, a pocket for holding memory. And when you hear people telling you, including me, how amazing water is, don't even let it get that technical. Like, come back to even the most basic element. That the spin, the orbital magnetoelectrotractical spin of oxygen, right? Of two H's and one O, I should say, forms a basket of memory. And that memory is basically the same as a nucleus. It's a protein shell of sorts because it has a surface tension to it. It's what water's showing you. It's showing you I have the ability to create my own cosmos, and that you can insert memory into this bubble of water. If you're going to cut the glass of water with a knife, you're going to stir it with a spoon. You're going to shake it vigorously. Shaken or stirred, Mr. Bond? Why would he care? And when you start to understand that that pocket is holding your injected will, that your will, what you want, is a smart contract negotiated through an egoore because you keep giving it your fucking power. That's your call. You want to go live out in the hills of Kentucky, you'll probably start hovering, but you're going to have to lose language center. You're going to have to start talking to raccoons. Some of you already do, so good luck to you. But I'm saying you need to abandon all of these things so that you can pull back that energy and start to hover. And you're going to go crazy. You're going to go crazy. You know why you're going to go crazy? Because no one is willing to believe that you can hover just because you found a way to do it. It's not acceptable. So they can't make you stop hovering. So you yourself have to go insane. You yourself. It's not society insisting you're insane. It's you saying that if I want this to happen, I have to go insane. All clerics know this. All shamans know this. All halfling elves know this. All magical goblins know this. Most high wizards already know this, but then they go around telling you, selling you systems where they don't know this. They're just like, oh, I'm not a wizard. Everyone else fucking wizard, blah, 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 blah. And it's just like, this is how it works. You are inserting your intent into the pocket of water, and you're like, fucking do this. Do this. It's not that water obeys. It's that water remembers. It's that it feels. You can shout into it. You can let it all out. You can tell it, these are the things that you so come on, water. I'm talking to you, man. Come on. I'm talking to you, man. Right? Right? You guys have a great day. We'll see you next time. I'm not doing dojo today. Sorry about that, guys. I'm trying to write some things. I want to see what I can write this day. Take some time today to do some writing. So anyway, appreciate you guys. Hope you're doing well. Have a great day. Thanks for watching.